Good morning. I wanted to do a video today. Like I say, once again, my videos are geared towards the women out there that are Israelites and the younger women out there that are Israelites. Um, so-called Negro, Native American, Latino, Mexican, um, Argentinian, Colombian, Brazilian, Jamaican, Haitian. All of our women are spread across the four corners of the earth. I did this video. I want to do this video today. This is going to be a part one. Try my best to stay in order, but I felt in my spirit to let you guys know, if you out there running the streets, if you out there, doing stuff that you really don't have no business doing, but you feel like this is my life, it's YOLO, I'm living it up, and all the different things that come along with street life. Even if you're a woman right now and you may have young girls that are daughters and nieces and grandkids that are out there, maybe this message will help you guys to help them. Each one teach one. Because a lot of our people are not standing up and letting our people know what it is, and what time it is, and what we actually need to be doing right now. Because, you can walk them streets 1,000 nights and they'll never know your name, okay? I'm going to start this instance off on a part one. But I'm gonna start when I was 22. Now maybe later on down the road I'll go back from when I was younger, but I felt that it's necessary now for me to start at this point, because this was a start of a pinnacle point in my life as I look back. When I was about 22, I was out there in the streets very, very heavy. I actually jumped off the porch. When I say jumped off the porch, I was actually in the streets at a very, very young age. I was raised into it. My mom, my dad, I'll get into that later on, but our whole circle and how we operated was basically street life. So I wasn't one of them people who I grew up and it's like, oh yeah, I woke up one day and I feel like I want to go out there and run the streets because everybody is out there. I wish I had that option. I didn't have that option. It was what was dealt to me. And so I had to deal with it. And I'm speaking from that point of view. So this is actual events. I actually lived it, actually experienced these things 100%. When I was 22, I was dating this guy. I'm from Omaha, so some of the areas I'd probably tell you a lot. I know a lot of you guys probably won't know it, but I was dating this one guy from St. Louis, and he had moved up here, and I think I met him coming from a club one night, and we met on the humbug. Ended up hooking up and everything, and I think I had known him for, I say about maybe 6 months or something like that, and got a chance to get to know him, and ended up going and meeting his children and different things like that. One night we went out. I think we went out to eat or something that we was doing, and we ended up going to his house and everything. And I had the newspaper. I ended up getting the newspaper that day because I wanted to, I used to read the newspaper a lot back then. And we ended up going back to his house, and I noticed that, wait a minute, what house is this guy, going to? Like, this whole area looks familiar. And come to find out, the house that he ended up taking me to was an old dope house. It was a dope house since I could remember, because at that time I was 22. We actually lived right up the street on 38th and Spalding. Back in the day, when I think I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old. I was in daycare at the time, but everybody and their mama knew that house, that whole area was a Popeye area. It was a lot going on in that area, but that main house was a real live dope house. You talk about lines going around the corner, in the front and the back. So when he took me to there, I said, is this where you stay at? Is this where you live? And he was like, yeah, well, that's a red flag right there. I knew that that house was still a dope house, and even though it wasn't how it used to be back then, well, if you live in there, you got to know the history on that place, and that means that you are involved in this same type of thing. So my antennas automatically went up, but I just went on ahead and rolled with it because I was young. And I'm not gonna say I did have some dumbness in me because I should have paid attention more, and I wasn't doing that. I was just going along, for the ride. Okay, yeah, whatever. And so we ended up chilling and everything. And that day passed, another day had passed, and it was heavy on me. Like, you really, it was on my spirit. Now that I know that I'm in the truth now, compared to then, I could say, okay, back then I felt it on me, a presence on me that this wasn't good. I shouldn't, be over here. Excuse me. But I just kept on. I just looked past it, and I kept on going. And then one night he had left me there, and I was there by myself. And I was there by myself. I'll probably be, reading, watching TV, and, just chilling out, hanging out how us young girls do. You know how we do when we younger. We just kind of just spooty do around the house and stuff. And he was up there at the hood bar, right up the street. It was a hood bar called Hank's that was just literally like right. I could walk or run up there and be up there. And he was up there one night. And when he was up there one night, it was the light. I had dimmed the lights and turned the lights down because I heard some voices, and I had heard some footsteps around the house. And so I automatically turned off all the lights that were on, and I turned off the TV that was on in the house. And I seen about, I peeked out the side of the blind real slowly, and I seen about 5 dudes creeping around his house. And in my heart, I was praying, but I was silly because I was like, I know they don't think they about to come up in here. And I was kind of giggling on the inside. And I was scared at the same time too. It's crazy. It's a crazy thought to have, but I was just kind of being silly with it and playing around. I felt, now that I look back, I was playing around with the Lord, and I shouldn't have been doing that. When you say your prayers, you're supposed to be serious in your prayers, and you're supposed to act on that. I was literally like playing around, like, oh, they in the yard. What they trying to do? They trying to come up in here and take his dope and his money and stuff like